the injustice statement that was released by the 5 Nigerian Tribunal judges regarding the election petition tribunal in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu against Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. So this is what the video said that got people talking, and he received a lot of backlashes the moment he said this. So people were like, how can Davido, who called himself a celebrity, make this kind of statements? So this is what Davido said. I'm going to play you what Davido tweeted immediately after the judges. Nigerian election now by who rugged pass. This was what Davido said to get angry with him and said that how can Davido say this kind of thing? That how can Davido say that Nigerian election is supporting the kind of partial justice that was released by the judges? So this is what I have to say. You guys shouldn't blame Davido. Davido said the truth. Yes, Davido said the truth when he said the Nigerian election now by who rugged pass. Now, Davido said the simple, plain truth because this is how Nigerian elections have been held for over the years. This is not just Nigeria, the whole of Africa, especially West Africa. So what they have in Nigeria and West Africa is what we call I don't know the kind of democracy you call it. It's not the kind of democracy that we experience in developed countries. So that was why Davido made that statement. And a lot of people were like, oh, Davido, they are disappointed in Davido to have made that statement. Then this is what I have to say, that Davido was just stating the obvious of what happened, that this is what goes on in Nigeria election. It is like Nigeria election is by who rugged pass. But I'm going to play you some of the reactions of some people online. The moment Davido tweeted this, a lot of people reacted and said no, that Davido shouldn't have tweeted this kind of tweet, that instead he would have remained quiet. A lot of people preferred that Davido will remain quiet instead of tweeting what he just tweeted. So, guys, what people were telling Davido is that yes, everybody knows that this has been the case, how Nigerian elections have been handled in the past years, which is something that never favored Africa, and people got tired of it and said, no, this kind of election malpractices all the time has never favored Africa. Now, why can't we get it right for the first time? So now Davido saying this, being a celebrity that has so many people following him, Davido, a lot of people look up to him. Now is he trying to justify what they did? So they were not like, are you trying to justify the injustices? Like, how long should we continue like this? Like, this is not the kind of tweet that should be coming out from Davido at that point, because yes, everybody knows that this is how they have been doing it in Africa for years. But people got tired of it. This system of governance in Africa never yielded any positive result. Instead, there is more insecurity, people die, and this is democracy is not who killed the other person's oppositions more. That should be the leader. That is not what democracy should be. That is where I fault Davido there. Like Davido, everybody knows that this is how it has been happening. But we can't continue like this. Like, you cannot say that it is by who is rugged past, meaning who killed more opposition or who suppressed more opposition. Now, these are people who are learned. Somebody like Davido is learned enough. You see how things are done outside in developed countries. Why don't you encourage your followers and say, look, or at least remain silent? Everybody knows that, oh, they did the wrong thing. So, but at least the best you could do, because there are some people who look up to you, they might think, okay, so this is it. So this is how we are going to continue in Nigeria, back and forth. Then so many people were disenfranchised, they didn't do elections. So many people didn't vote, so many lost their lives. It happened. So many, we all saw it on Facebook Live, and every people were reporting live the incidents. But unfortunately, the judges judged another thing. Then we cannot just say, oh, let us carry on like that. So that was why a lot of people were really, telling Davido that he did not do the right thing, that maybe he should have just remained quiet instead of tweeting out that kind of thing. But, that is Davido. He has said his own. So a lot of people shouldn't really blame him that much, but that was what he said, that made people say, okay, this is what Davido has been saying that they don't like. So now I'm going to play you a video of one of the lawyers who were there, why this election, why this judgment was going on, and what the lawyer has to say. Then I have to play you some of the reaction of people online when Davido tweeted that thing, some of the reaction of young Nigerians. So I'm just going to play you this quickly. All right. So that, okay, so I'm going to pick up this tweet from Twitter. So Miss Pearls, she had this to say, and she said, I am defiant. I have no respect for illegality. I lack manners when speaking against injustice. If you are looking for civility in speaking up against crime and criminality, get lost. If you support criminals and looking for respect rather than gather your kids and family members and demand it from them. Like, a lot of Nigerian youth couldn't take it. They were like, oh, this is like broad daylight robbery. So this was why a lot of people seemed as if they were attacking the video on the online after the judgment was done. But they can't keep blaming him. So, but it is good because someone like Davido that have a lot of followers, maybe he should have just kept quiet, because people cannot continue like this. At least if you don't want to speak up for it, you could just, try to say something positive and tell people like, oh, we hope to change because the democracy is not giving us what we want. So this is what I think happened. This is why. Okay, now listen to this lawyer talk. So then you hear what people have to say. Okay. The right to think that the sun rises and sets in your household alone. It is this kind of sick, tightest approaches to governance, aided by misgovernance, corruption, opaque governance, directionless, hunger, thirst, melancholy, and social disequilibrium that make people to rise up and take up arms against their leaderships. Such taking up of arms, to me, against oppressors who masquerade under the thin guise of leaders, changing their constitutions at will,
to accommodate further terms. I do not regard it as a coup d'etat. I regard it as good riddance to bad rubbish.
Okay, guys, now you hear from the lawyers. I think this is one of Atiku Abubakar's lawyers have come to reject in strong terms. Atiku Abubakar lawyers and Peter Obi lawyers have rejected the judgment of the appeal court judges as trash and said that it is good riddance to bad rubbish. So what do you think, guys? Drop your comment in the comment section.